So this question says, an agricultural engineer selected a random sample of 30 farms in a country to construct a 95% confidence interval for the mean size in acres of farms in the country. The resulting interval was 367 to 558. Which of the following is the correct interpretation of the 95% confidence interval, or confidence level? Well, so the interpretation of this confidence interval, okay, this is a 95% confidence interval. This is saying that in 95% of all samples, okay, the confidence interval you get contains the true population mean. So let's go through the choices. Part A, approximately 95% of all farm sizes in the country are between 367 and 558. Well, that's not true. Okay. Part B, approximately 95% of all random samples of size 30 from the population will produce a sample mean farm size between 367 and 558. That's also not true. So this confidence interval was one particular confidence interval that you got from one sample, but a different sample may produce, different confidence intervals. And it's not true that the 95% of the random samples will produce a sample mean that is related to this interval. Part C, approximately 95% of all random samples of size 30 from the population will produce intervals that contain the true mean farm size in acres from the country. Well, that's the correct interpretation of the confidence interval, right? We think of confidence intervals as like a net, and to have a 95% confidence interval means that 95% of these nets will contain the true thing that you're estimating. Okay, D, approximately, well, we know it's C, but D, approximately 95% of all random samples of size 30 from the population will produce intervals that contain the sample mean farm size in acres from the country. That's not true. So the only difference between C and D was sample mean, whereas C is the true mean. So the confidence intervals, 95% confidence interval means that 95% of the intervals you get contain the true population parameter, not the sample mean. I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't really even make sense, because the sample mean depends on the sample you get. Right? So the answer is choice C.